Good afternoon, my dear students. You are most welcome for this online class. First, I owe my sincere thanks to all because of the patience you observed on this online class. It's very essential to understand the meaning and the basic concepts of all the terms in economics is needed much attention. If you are attentive, definitely you can understand. If you focus your attention diverted, nothing can be understood. So be attentive and be alive on this online class. Oh, yesterday we had a nice discussion on capitalistic economy. As already mentioned, there are three major types of economies: capitalistic economy, socialistic economy, and mixed economy. In capitalist economy, we saw that there is total freedom for consumers, producers, and the others. An individual can produce any commodity. An individual can start any production and produce any commodity and develop any skill. So there is total freedom for all. And the golden rule for a producer in capitalist economy is to maximize profit. Then we saw merits, features, and demerits of capitalist economy. Now we are going to have the another type of economy called socialistic economy, which also has the features, merits, and demerits. Father of capitalism is Adam Smith. Then who is regarded as the father of modern macroeconomics? J.M. Keynes. Now, the father of socialism is Karl Marx. Karl Marx is regarded as the father of socialism. Don't get confused. The father of modern macroeconomics, the father of socialism, and the father of capitalism. Socialism is a system of total planning, public ownership, and the state control on all economic activities. Socialism is defined as a way of organizing society in which the major economic activities or major industries are owned and controlled by the government. That is why socialism or socialist economy is called as command economy or planned economy. What is the other name of capitalist economy? Free economy, laissez-faire in Latin, then market economy. Here, the socialist economy is also termed as planned economy and command economy. Now, in socialist economy, there is no freedom for consumers. Okay, only they have limited freedom. Here, all the resources are controlled and owned by the government. And there is central planning authority. And there is no role for private sector. And the main motto or the main motive of the socialist economy is to maximize welfare of the people, which is the golden rule for a producer in capitalist economy, to maximize profit. Whereas in socialistic economy, the maximum social welfare is the guiding principle of socialism. Okay, so socialism or socialist economy as the features. So let us see the features of the socialist economy one by one. Now, the first feature of a socialist economy is the public ownership of means of production. All the resources are owned and managed by or controlled by the government. All these resources are nationalized. It is not a private owned property. It is not used or controlled by private sector. So in this type of economy, that is socialist economy, all the resources are nationalized. So that is public ownership of means of production. The next feature of the socialist economy is central planning. There is a planning committee which is formed at the central level to organize the economic policies, to bring the economic conditions and giving maximum welfare to the society. So here, the central planning authority is an integral part of the economy. In this system, all decisions are undertaken by the government, not the private sector. Whereas in capitalist economy, all the decisions are taken by the private sector. Next, as I already mentioned, the main motive or the motive of the socialist economy is maximum welfare. So the next feature of the socialist economy is maximum social benefit. Social welfare is the guiding principle of this socialist economy. Investments are made. They are made in such a way that the benefits are distributed to the society at large, not at the minimum level, at large level. So that is also one of the features of the socialist economy. Then comes non-existence of competition. There is no competition in the socialistic economy. There is absence of competition in the socialistic economy because all the economic systems are controlled by the government. The state has full control over the production and the distribution of goods and services. When this situation is prevailing, then where is the question of the competition? That is, there we see the absence of competition in the socialistic economy. Then we saw the price mechanism in capitalist economy, which plays a vital role in the economic conditions. That is, price mechanism, in other words, the market forces of demand and supply. All the economic activities are controlled by the price mechanism. Here in the socialist economy, there is absence of price mechanism. The pricing system works under the control and the regulation of the central planning authority. So that is the special thing that is mentioned here. The next feature is equality of income. Another essential point that you have to keep in mind that there is socialism which is involved in removal or the reduction of income inequalities. The socialist economy focuses attention on the removal and the reduction of inequalities. That means what? Income equal to all. That is what it says. And under socialism, private property and the law of inheritance do not exist. Private property and the law of inheritance exist in which type of economy? Capitalistic economy. Whereas in socialistic economy, there is no question of having private property and the law of inheritance. Okay, so these two are absent in the case of socialistic economy. The next is equality of opportunity. There is opportunity for all. That is what the socialist economy states. According to this economic system, equal opportunity for all through what? Through free health, education, etc. Even professional training is also given free to the professionals in this type of economy known as socialistic economy. In this way, opportunity is provided for all in the equitable manner. The next is classless society. In capitalist economy, we find two classes or two sections. One is capitalist, the another one is workers. So two classes. Whereas here, there is no question of capitalists or producers or the royal persons and no weaker sections. Here, both rich and poor considered equally. That is what is mentioned here. So, in this socialist economy, there is a classless society formed, and so there is no class conflict. There is no class dispute. Whereas you take in our country, which is following the mixed economy is adopted in our country where we can see many classes. The rich people, middle income, and the low income. Okay? The rich people become richer, poor become poorer. And the middle income persons or individuals may not be possible to become the rich persons. Whereas under socialism, there is no class. Why there is no class? Because opportunity is given to all. What kind of opportunity? Equal opportunity. In the distribution of income and wealth, in the distribution of goods and services. That is why there is no much consideration on rich people and the poor people. Rich respects poor, poor respects the rich. That is, classless society is also one of the features of the socialist economy. So, there are 8 features of a socialistic economy. The first is public ownership of means of production, central planning, the maximum social benefit, non-existence of competition, then absence of price mechanism, equality of income, then equality of opportunity, and lastly, classless society. Next, we move to know about the merits of socialistic economy. While knowing the merits of a socialistic economy, the first comes reduction in inequalities. This is very, very important merits of the socialistic economy. This type of economy tries to reduce the level of income inequalities, both wealth and property or wealth and money. So no one is allowed to own or to use the private property to exploit others, exploit, to extract more work from a person and awarding less wages or the less payment. This is what is called exploitation. So, in order to exploit others, no one is allowed to use or own the private property according to the socialist economy. Now, the next merit of socialist economy is rational allocation of resources. And this is also, one of the important merits of a socialistic economy. The central planning authority allocates the resources in a planned manner. Even sometimes the wastages are minimized. Whereas we found in capitalism that wastages of resources are found in capitalistic economy. Whereas here the wastages are minimized because of the central planning authority. The next feature in the socialist economy is absence of class conflicts. As inequalities are minimum, because the government is trying to reduce or remove all the inequalities of income. Since that situation prevails and there is no conflict between rich and poor, there we cannot see rich become richer and poor become poorer. So that is the condition that prevails in socialism. So wastages are minimized and the inequalities of income are also at the minimum level. Then comes another one of the merits of socialist economy, end of trade cycles. If there is no economic condition, if the conditions of economy are not in formed state or in good state, then there would be economic fluctuations and there would be a business cycle. Changes in the economy can also be accepted, but the changes, the changes in the economy, that means planning authority takes its responsibility of the formulating the policies in order to bring or in order to avoid the changes in the economic conditions that create what is called business cycle. It's nothing but business cycle. Now here, all the control over production and the distribution of goods and services, the economic fluctuations can easily be avoided. If there is no over control on production and the distribution of goods and services, this will create the problem of the business cycle or business fluctuations. Then ultimately this would cause the economic growth of a country. That is, here it is clearly mentioned that the end of trade cycle. The last merit of the socialism is promote social welfare. Yes, this is 100% right according to the socialistic economy. How this is ensured? Absence of exploitation, reduction in income inequalities, then avoidance of trade cycle, and increase in productive efficiency. Because of these reasons, because of these actions, there is promotion of social welfare. Social welfare is increased because of these actions. So these are called the merits of the socialist economy. The next, we are going to see the demerits of socialist economy. Merits and demerits of both capitalism and socialism are sometimes interrelated. So we can easily analyze the merits and demerits of capitalism and socialism. What is found in capitalism is not adopted in socialism. What is considered as positive in the economic condition of the country is not provided in the another country which follows the another type of economy. Actually, the socialist economy is adopted in Russia, China, Vietnam, Poland, and Cuba. These are the countries which follow or adopt the system of the socialist economy. Socialism is followed in these countries. In which countries we find the capitalist economy? America, Australia, Japan, Germany. These are the countries where the capitalist economy is adopted. Okay, then let us see the demerits of a socialistic economy. There are only 4 points which are covered under the demerits of socialism. The first is red tapeism and bureaucracy. What do you mean by red tapeism? Excessive regulation. There is a huge, what is called, amount of the rules and regulations. Because of this excessive regulation, sometimes this leads to the economy in the bad condition. So here, the bureaucracy in the sense officials have more power. Here, all the conditions, all the decisions are taken by the government agencies. It is not approved by the private agencies or taken by the private agencies. All the decisions are approved and taken by the government agencies. And the next, approval of officials and the movement of files from one table to another table takes time. Okay, so time taken is also one of the aspects that is mentioned here. So the movement of files from one table to another table, taking more time. This is what we practically see in the government offices. If you apply for any certificate, suppose you want to get the assurance or patta on your land, then you have to apply as per procedure. Then your file goes to one table, then moves to another table, then taken to another table. Then finally approval is given. So then only you will get what you achieve, what you intend. Then only your purpose will be served. But moving from one table to another table, taking more time. So that is what is mentioned in one of the demerits of socialistic economy, that is red tapeism and bureaucracy. The next demerit of the socialism is absence of incentive for hard work. The benefit is there. For hard work, incentive is given. More hard work or more efficiency, more recognition, more incentive. Whereas here, there is no incentive for even for hard work. So that is the backlog of the socialist economy. Then third point is that the limited freedom of choice. Consumers have the total freedom of choice in capitalistic economy, whereas in socialistic economy there is only limited. Consumers do not enjoy buying and consuming the products. They enjoy only at limited level. That is, limited freedom of choice is given to the consumers here. Then the last demerit of the socialist economy is concentration of power. In capitalism, the concentration of power in a few hands. All the goods and services produced and distributed to the society. Thereby, the income is earned. All this income is in a few hands. This income is not equally distributed in the capitalistic society. Similar to socialistic economy, here also we find that the powers are vested only in the hands of few. That is, in a few hands, that means the government has full power, the full control over all economic activities. Okay, all the major decisions are taken by the government. The private takes no initiative in making economic decisions. Whereas private sector plays a vital role. Private sector has major role in capitalistic economy. In socialistic economy, private sector has no such rule or role or influence. They are not involved in making even economic decisions. That is the one. That is the reason the state is more powerful. Sometimes the state can misuse this power. Okay, misuse this power, and this power can alone take place. So misuse of power is also possible taken place in the socialist economy. So these are the demerits of the socialistic economy. Now, The next is mixedism. The third type of economy is mixed economy. Mixed economy is the coexistence of the principles of capitalism and socialism. Principles of capitalism and socialism. The advantages of capitalism and socialism. These two are combined together in the mixed economy. Mixed economy is also referred as the coexistence of public sector and private sector joined together to carry out economic activities. Okay, so private sector plays a vital role in capitalistic economy. There is no role of private sector in socialistic economy. And in mixed economy, there is part of the role, the part of private sector in the mixed economy in our country. This mixed economy is followed in India, England, Brazil. These are the countries where this mixed economy is found or adopted. Okay, so here even one of the developed countries, France, France is also involved in adopting this mixed economy. So India, Brazil, France, and even England. So these are the countries where the mixed economy is followed. Similarly, what we have seen in the capitalist and the socialist economy, there are features of the mixed economy. Let us see one by one. The first feature of the mixed economy is ownership of property and means of production. Here, the means of production and properties are owned by both private and public. The means of production are owned by private sector in capitalistic economy. The means of production or the means of production or the means of property or ownership of means of property owned by government in socialistic economy, whereas in mixed economy, the means of the property or the ownership of means of property are owned by both private and public. All the properties are owned by both the sectors, private sector and public sector. Public and private have the right to purchase, use, or transfer their resources. Private sector can supply resources to the public sector. Where the resources are not available to the private sector, that can be supplied by the public sector. So interrelated, interconnected, depends on one another. We cannot say that private sector does not depend on public sector. Or the public sector never depends on the private sector. It is not like other economies. It's a mixed economy where we see the economic role of both private sector and public sector. Okay, these two sectors combine together to carry out economic activities. So that is why all the resources are owned by both private and public or use or transferring of the resources. The next feature of this mixed economy is coexistence of public and private sectors. In mixed economies, both private and public sectors coexist. Private industries undertake activities primarily for profit. That is nature. Every individual who establishes or who involves in any occupation is meant for only profit. The ultimate aim of the private sector is to earn profit, whereas the public sector, public sector firms are owned by the government only with a view to maximize social welfare. Public sector is on social welfare. Private sector moves towards profit, but both are joined together to carry out the economic activities or to function the economic conditions in the mixed economy. So that is the second feature of the mixed economy. The next feature of the mixed economy is economic planning. The central planning authority prepares the economic plans. National plans are drawn up by the government at one both by private and the public sectors abide. Now we have the planning committee. Previously it was planning commission. Now we have NITI Aayog. We have already learned even in plus one the development planning experiences in development planning. Okay, so NITI Aayog is the new formation which provides or formulates the plans for our country. So here, the plans are set by the central government or formulated by the central government. Both the private sector and public sector are supposed to obey these laws. In general, all sectors of the economy functioning according to the objectives, priorities, and targets laid down in the economy. The next feature of mixed economy is freedom and solution to economic problems. Now, the basic problems of what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, and how to distribute, these are the special things added in the feature of the economic solution to economic problems. The problems can be solved. How? What are the products to be produced? How to produce? For whom to produce what products? And how to produce for whom? And how to distribute these products? That is the essential thing of this feature. So here, the economic problems are solved through the price mechanism as well as state intervention. There is no state intervention. There is no government intervention in capitalist economy. There is 100% involvement, intervention, the control, full control over all the economic activities. 100% control over all economic activities in socialistic economy. In mixed economy, these economic problems are solved on the basis of, that is, basic things: what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, and how to distribute. And also the price mechanism as well as state intervention. State intervention is nature in the mixed economy. Okay, so that is a thing that is mentioned here. Price mechanism plays a vital role in capitalist economy. Whereas in socialist economy, price systems are formed. Price, price systems are decided by the central planning authority. And here, in mixed economy, the state intervention is needed along with price mechanism. The last feature of this mixed economy is freedom and control. Though private sector has freedom to own resources, to produce commodities and distribute the same to the society, the overall on the economic activities rests with the government. Private sector has been allocated all kinds of resources. Private sector is given full freedom to produce any commodity, to fulfill the needs of the society, but they are given production of goods and services, owning the resources, whatever resources they have, they can go on, and even the distribution of goods and services are under the control of the private sector, but the overall control rests with the government. Okay, so these are all the features of the mixed economy. Then comes the merits of mixed economy. So in the next session, we shall see the merits of mixed economy. Now, before that, you just look at this one. Ownership of means of production. What is the position in capitalism? Private ownership. In socialism, public ownership. In mixed economy, both private ownership and public ownership. The next feature of this economy, economic motive. What is the motive of capitalist economy? Profit. And what is the motive of socialist economy? Social welfare. And what about the condition of mixed economy? Both social welfare and the profit. Okay. Then solution of central problems. How the economic problems are solved in different economies. In capitalist economy, we find free market system. Here the central planning system. Whereas in mixed economy, we have both central planning and the free market system. Then the role of government. The role of government here, internal regulation only. There is no role of government. That means the government role is minimum and the government intervention is minimum. That is why it is known as internal regulation only. Here, complete involvement. Since all the resources are owned by the government, the involvement is 100% by the government. That is complete involvement. Next is limited role. It is not both, but there is limited role in solving the economic problems. The next is income distribution. How the income is distributed in different types of economies. In capitalist economy, the income distribution is unequal. In socialist economy, it's equal. And in mixed economy, less unequal. Less unequal. The next is nature of enterprise, whether it is public enterprise or private enterprise. In capitalist economy, it is private enterprise. In in socialist economy, it is a government enterprise. And we find both private enterprise and public enterprise or government enterprise in mixed economy. That is called mixed economy. Mixed economy is nothing but the coexistence of the private sector and the public sector joined together to carry out economic activities. That is where we find both in the mixed economy. The next comes economic freedom. Here, complete freedom is given in capitalist economy, whereas there is lack of freedom in socialist economy. And as far as mixed economies is concerned, the freedom is given only to some extent. In other words, limited freedom in mixed economy. Next, the last is major problem. Here, inequality. In solving the major problem, here in capitalist economy, inequality. And here, inefficiency. How the major problems are created and solved. Here, the major problem is inequality in capitalist economy. The major problem of the socialist economy is inefficiency. Efficiency is less. Sometimes the resources are used in an efficient manner. Then, as far as mixedism is concerned, inequality and inefficiency. These two aspects cause major problem. Which one? Inequality and inefficiency. Okay, so this is very, very important from the examination point of view, covering under 5 mark category. Compare the different types of economic systems. This is a 5 mark question. This has to be learned and understood, then kept in the mind, so that this is the question which is repeatedly placed in the public examination question paper. Okay, time is up. Let me give you thanks for your patience for listening to this video. Thank you, my dear children. Whatever the part is completed in first chapter, please go through it. Read thoroughly word by word, because economics is the subject where each and every concept, each and every word to be understood clearly. If any doubt, that will be clarified later. Thank you.